The Seahawks learned something when they had the Jadeveon Clowney experience of last year. Clowney was asking for more than $20 million, and at one point the Seahawks had offered 13 and eventually went up to 16, but that couldn't even get any counter offers coming back from Clowney. So they had to end up waiting and waiting and waiting. They could have had the chance to maybe get a Leonard Floyd, another pass rusher. Instead, they didn't get Clowney and had to really wait until the middle of the season to be able to trade for Carlos Dunlap to fix up the pass rush. Well, what they learned is, hey, if you can't get the guy you want, then start to move quickly. So, for example, here's Carlos Dunlap. He's wanting about $10 million, and that's a little bit too much right now in this current market for a guy in his 30s. And so what they did on Tuesday, they moved on Kerry Hyder, getting him to a deal roughly around $5.5 million, and then get Benson Mayowa back. In the case of Hyder, he can be the 5 technique. He had 8.5 sacks, getting 14 starts for the injured 49er defensive line, and he looks good. Mayowa came over and came back after years of being away from Seattle, had 6 sacks, and so now 14.5 sacks have been added back to that pass rush. Hyder, I think, is a good signing. And of course, it still gives them the flexibility to see if they want to add one more pass rush. But now they've got about 6 or 7 defensive ends that can go in there. Because remember, they still want to see what can happen with Darrell Taylor. They also want to see what they can do with Alton Robinson. L.J. Collier's still there. And of course, you got Rasheem Green. So overall, instead of waiting for Dunlap, this year, the Seahawks decided, let's go ahead, let's take care of business. We'll get Hyder, we'll get Mayowa, and then we'll see where we go from there.